You're welcome to class today. And as you've all known, we started set theory some days back. So we will continue with the two-set problem. So for this reason, if you happen to miss any of the classes, you can still have an opportunity to attend the class on the platform. Is that okay? So you just go straight to the platform and search for the live class on the particular topic you missed. Is that understood? So once that is done, then you can enjoy the class just like the rest of the students that were in class. So today we will talk about the two-set problem. What basically is two-set problem? Two-set problem is that problem that contains two sets. Is that okay? Where we relate the universal set to two subsets. Okay, and by now I am sure you understand what the universal set is as well as the subset. We dealt more on that in our previous class. Do you understand? As I advise you, go to the previous lessons and watch. Is that okay? All right, so two sets problem is what we'll continue with today. So let's take some questions to really understand what the two set problem is. The first question here, I'll try as much as possible to discuss about two problems. Is that okay before the end of the class? Then if you can't cover that, then I think I'll give that as a classwork or assignments for you. Is that okay? So a certain, and I'm sure you're with your notepad and pen. Please don't come to the class without your notepad and pen so that you have something to refer back to whenever you're studying, okay? So a certain cultural center, where 46 musical artists were gathered was observed. Okay, so the information here is we're told that 32 were drummers. 32 were drummers and 25 were singers. So how many of the artists that gathered were both drummers and singers? If 4 of them did not participate, at all. So this is the information we have. This is the information we have. We're told that a certain cultural center where 46 musical artists were gathered was observed. Okay? So 32 of the drummers and 32 were drummers and 25 were singers. How many of the artists that gathered were both singers and drummers? Of course, you know that it is possible for someone to be a drummer and also be a singer. Okay, so if that is said, they said the condition for this set to hold. Remember, I told you that the elements or members in a particular set, of course, the members are seen as the subsets, which are the singers and the drummers. Of course, the universal set is the musical artist. Do you understand? So if you were in the previous classes, you understand all this because I've already laid the foundation before now. Do you get it now? So if 4 of them did not participate at all, this is an additional condition to this problem. Now, the next step is to solve the problem. Since we have this problem, of course, in mathematics and physics or any calculation subject, whenever you're given problems, the first step is to highlight your given parameters. Why do you need to do this? So that you know what you have and what to solve for. So since we have that 46 in the setting, in the cultural center, we have 46 musical artists. So what exactly is the 46 musical artists talking about based on sets? Of course, your guess is as good as mine. So let us take the solution. We should know that because 46 musical artists houses all other artists, and we said the set that serves as the mother or the house to all other sets is called the universal set. Okay, so the universal set in this case is the musical artist, which happen to be 46. So having said that, we were also told that 43 were drummers. So let us use D to represent drummers. Let us say D stands for drummers, while S stands for singers. S stands for singers. So the number of singers, the number of people that could sing, from the problem, from the question, is 25. So number of S is equal to 25, and the number of D is equal to 32. All right. Now they told us that we should find the number of artists that gathered for both drumming and singing. So remember when we are talking about both, that is the elements or items common to both sets, what we are simply talking about is the intersection of the sets. And we said intersection as this symbol, just like N, but it's not N. Okay, so we have drummer intersection singer will give us a number of drummer intersection singer will give us, let's call it X, because that is what we are looking for. They now give us another information. They said if 4 of them did not participate at all. Okay, so let us call the number of people that did not participate at all Y. So Y equals 4. And from our basic understanding in sets, and we discussed the basic operations in sets, we're told that, okay, I can see that Tuanu just joined in. Tuanu, you're welcome to class. Okay, we just started a while ago, and what I've just done was to give the questions we are going to talk about. Okay, so and the question is right on your screen. The question is right on your screen, so you can go through it while you join me in the class. All right, so the number of people that were not involved in any of the cultural activity gives us 4. Do you understand? So from our basic understanding, we know this to be the complement of the sets. Do you understand? Complements are elements that are not in that particular set but are in the universal set. Do you understand? Though these 4 people did not participate at all, but you agree with me that they are among the universal set because they are among the community we are talking about. Is that understood? So, having said that, we can represent this information using the Venn diagram. Remember, I said yesterday that the Venn diagram is a pictorial representation of sets. It gives us a clearer picture of what we are talking about. So, the Venn diagram, in this case, we use a rectangular block to represent the universal set. And the subsets are represented using circles. The first question to ask yourself is there an intersection between both of them? So let's check. Since there is an intersection, which is number of D intersection S, that simply tells us that there should be a point where both of them met. Do you understand? Something like this and this. So let's call this first circle the drummers and call the second circle the singers. So if that is done, we can comfortably say that where both of them met, which is the intersection, this place here, is seen as X, and that is what we are looking for. All right. So they gave us number of drummers to be equal to 32 and number of singers to be equal to 25, and the universal set gives us 46. So the number of artists that did not participate in either drumming or singing will be kept anywhere within this box, will be kept anywhere within the box. So I can decide to keep it over here and call this Y, which is equal to 4. So if this is done, we can now move further to solving the problem. For a two-set problem, there is a generally acceptable formula for it. And the generally acceptable formula is U, which is equal to, since in this case we are talking about drummer and singers, so it is the union of both sets. So we have number of D union S, which is equal to, you add in the individual sets together. So number of D plus the number of S minus, you subtract it from the number of artists having the two common performance. Okay, we'll subtract it from the intersection between drumming and singing. Okay, so we have X over here. This is called equation 1. So if we have this as equation 1, there is another equation just like equation 1. So in case we have information of some people or some performances that are not in the set we are talking about, in this case Y, okay, we would have to subtract the number from the universal set to get the actual people performing the operation. Do you understand? So in this case, we want to know the actual universal set. The actual universal set is nothing but U minus Y equals number of D plus number of S minus X. Call this equation 2. Okay? So since we have this, which of the equations are we going to talk about, or are we going to use? Of course, it is equation 2. We're going to use equation 2. Why? Because it gives us the information that we need. So there is no need to worry ourselves anymore since we have our parameters. That's why it was very, very necessary for us to list our parameters first before going into the solving. So what we have here, we already have that our U is 46 minus our Y is 4. This gives us the actual universal set, so which is also equal to number of drummers, we have 32, plus number of singers, we have 25, then minus X. Right? So if we do our normal plus and minus arithmetic, you will agree with me that 46 minus 4 will give us 42. So 42 equals 32 plus 25 will give us 56. 57, then minus x. Of course, our aim is to make sure that x stands alone. So anything that is disturbing x should be moved to the other side. Let us continue with our calculation. I can see that Jotam just came in. Jotam, you're welcome to class. We've not really talked much. We just started with solving a problem, and that problem is seen on your screen over here. We said a certain cultural center where 46 musical artists were gathered was observed. 32 were drummers and 25 were singers. How many of the artists that gathered were both singers and drummers? If 4 of them did not participate in the event at all. And we started with highlighting our given parameters. Okay, now then we drew a Venn diagram for it and started and continued with the general equations that we can use to solve problems under two-set problems. Okay, we gave equation 1 as an equation, a general equation in which we have all elements included, but if we have members or items that are not included in the particular operation, okay, we subtract it from the universal set first before we continue to get the actual universal set, and that was where you joined us. Okay, so if we continue solving this, we have to subtract 57 from both sides. So 42 minus 57 equals minus x, and 42 minus 57 of course will give us minus 15. So minus 15 equals minus x. So this cancels out and x is equal to 15. That means the number of artists that performed or that sang and also drummed gives us 15. Okay, so that is the answer to the problem. Okay, that is the answer to the problem. Now, having said that, we can continue by checking another question out. All right, let us check another question out. But before we do that, Jotam, are you on the same page with us?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you've solved problems on two-set problems before. Or is this your first time of hearing anything on two-set problems?
Not actually, but it's been a while ago.
Okay. So we can solve another problem so that you'd understand it better. Okay. So before we continue, do you have any question?
For now, no. I think maybe after you solve this problem.
Okay. So let us solve another question.